Hello, YouTube. It's technically Monday morning, but I'm still enjoying my Sunday night. It's 1:52 a.m., which would make it August 16th, 2021. I'm getting better at remember this whole date thing. I normally stay until a little bit after the bar is closed, but I just sang my last song at Monkey Pants and not really vibing with anybody there other than, of course, the KJ, whom I've known forever at this point. The bartender was a little more friendly with me than normal, but yeah, I just tabbed out before she got mobbed by everybody trying to tab out at closing time, so I'm gonna roll out. So last video got cut off abruptly, which is a bummer because had that not happened, I would have got some really good footage driving from Mesa to Tempe. I mean, it was rainy and it was dark, so it wouldn't have been good quality footage, but content-wise, I don't ever think I've driven that stretch of the Superstition Freeway and seen so many flashing lights from emergency vehicles. It was remarkable. There was also a really substantial multi-car pileup on the side of the freeway. It was on the westbound side of the freeway. Right before Gilbert, there were a lot of emergency vehicles there as well. Which brings me to another Dan driving tip. If it's raining, slow the fuck down. Seriously, slow down. Drive a little slower in the rain. It's a little harder to handle your vehicle in the rain. If you slam on your brakes, it's a little harder to stop in the rain. And the other tips I can give for driving in the rain are the tips that I give for driving in the freeway no matter what the weather is. Don't pass on the right, ever. Pass on the left, not the right. The left lane is the passing lane. The right lane is the not passing lane. Whatever speed the guy is going in the next lane over, if you're in the lane to the right, you need to go slower than that guy. Let me demonstrate. See this guy here? See what speed he's going? I mean, I could stomp on my gas and pass him, but whatever speed he's going, you should stay here. Stay about that far behind him. That way he can see you in his mirror. That way you're not in his blind spot. It's not a very difficult thing to do. The other thing is don't freaking tailgate. A lot of people want to vilify people that speed on the freeway. I honestly don't think speed causes anywhere near as many accidents as tailgating. When the person in front of you does something, if you're right on his ass, you have no time to react. You should pretty much always be 2 seconds or more behind him. And what that means is, watch, he's going to cross the intersection. 1001, 1002. Bam. That's how far you should be behind him. Not only if you're following him in the lane, but if you're in the right lane, which is not the passing lane. That gives you time to react, and that gives him enough time to be able to see you. Just throwing that out there. I know. I just had 2 chargeable accidents in less than a week's time and pretty much fucked my driving record, my previously perfect driving record, and pretty much fucked myself out of any driving jobs. However, I still insist I'm a safe driver, and these simple things that I just described, if everybody who was driving in the rain on the 60 tonight had been following those rules, that huge pileup in Mesa near Gilbert Road wouldn't have happened. I didn't have a problem. I just, driving safe. Went around him on the left. Not a big deal. Anyway, just finished up karaoke over at Monkey Pants. It was a good time. I'm still kind of trying to wrap my head around the way the sound is set up there. Now, I've never worked there. I don't know how they have their sound set up, but I really feel for my friend Terry, who hosts there, because she has absolutely zero control over the levels of anything. Like, she just basically runs the computer that plays the backing tracks, and she MCs on her mic and just kind of hopes for the best. A lot of times, like when I was singing, I felt like I was mixed really poorly. which normally if I'm at a karaoke show, that sort of thing, I find it kind of annoying. And that was even before I was a karaoke DJ and was the guy running the sound. I just found it annoying. Like, you got one job. That job is to adjust the levels and make me sound good, and you're not doing it. But I realized that with the way the sound is set up there, and it's not Terry's system, it's the bar's system. She's working for the bar. It's a house system there, and it's just how they have it. It's just the way it is. So I realize there's absolutely nothing she can do, so I just appreciate that she's there. but yeah, it seemed like the sound was off. And then at one point I noticed that there are speakers on the stage. That guy just ran a red light. Nice maneuver, dude. Okay, I love Blind Melon, but if I never hear this Blind Melon song again, I would be completely happy. Play it out. Seriously, play out. Play another Blind Melon song. Absolutely any other Blind Melon song. They're all good. Except that one. That one's played out. Seriously, I'd rather listen to this. Alright, moving right along. So, yeah, she has no control over the sound. Anyway, what I noticed while I was there, I was a little more attentive to it tonight. There seems to be some speakers that are right above the stage that are only playing what's on the microphones. So when you're singing, like, you're hearing your voice dry with no backing track on it, which is weird. And then there's other speakers which are facing the crowd where it's mixed, which, I thought, oh my God, I can't even hear the backing track at all. And then I realized that that's how they have it set up on the stage. And the main reason I noticed it is I was stepping off the stage because of the way the TVs are arranged, and that kind of boils down to just me having old man eyes. My vision is not what it was 4 years ago. And I struggle to see things at a distance. And right now there's the only screens that they have when you're on the stage singing karaoke, which you have to be on the stage singing karaoke. They only have wired mics that are on the stage. They're completely across the bar on the left side above the shuffleboard table, which is a farther distance than I can really focus on the lyrics. And then to make matters even worse, there's stage lights that are bright and they're shining like right down on me, and I struggle with contrast. If there's a bright light shining at me, and it seems like this is something I've always struggled with, so maybe it has nothing to do with old man eyes. It just has to do with having the eyes of a human being. But if there's a light shining in my face that's bright, I have trouble seeing anything that is behind that light. So, yeah, I really struggle to see the screens when I'm there singing. And I've been kind of coping with it by walking to the far left side of the stage. Or should I say stage left, which is the right side of the stage if you're in the crowd facing the stage. I tend to walk there and then step forward so I don't have the stage lights glaring at me. So I'm a little bit off away from them and closer to the screens. I still struggle to see them, but there's enough mic cord that I can sometimes step off the stage a couple of feet and get close enough to see them. Of course, the best way for me to not struggle with that is to sing songs that I know, which really became apparent tonight. I sang 3 songs there. The first one that I sang was oh my gosh, I'm really trying to build my memory up, but now I'm just drawing a blank. First song I sang, I really don't remember. It was something I heard on the radio on the way there while I was watching all the flashing lights and accidents and rain on the Superstition Freeway. I absolutely don't remember. Anyway, whatever it was, I didn't do so great at it. And part of it was just the sound was odd. I was starting to see the lyrics, and it was just like, I don't. Oh no! Actually, that wasn't the problem. Never mind. And it is something I heard on the radio on the way there. It was the Bee Gees. You Should Be Dancing, which I did hear on the radio on the one of the new oldie station, the Wow Factor. And that song's been firmly stuck in my head because it was recently covered by the Foo Fighters as the DGs, and I absolutely love their cover of it. It kills me that I hear Foo Fighters on the radio constantly, but nobody on the radio is playing their brand new cover of You Should Be Dancing as the DGs. Like, alternative radio should be all over this. Rock radio should be all over this, and they're just not. But c'est la vie, this is what happens when almost every radio station is owned by a whopping like 3 different companies, so everybody's playing the same shit over and over and over. There's really just no creative programming on radio anymore. Anyway, so I sang that. My struggle with that song actually was that I'm still kind of getting over that sinus infection that I had. So I'm still kind of, as I just did now, I'm still kind of coughing up phlegm. And I didn't give it any thought because I've been, I sang all night over a Trey's show and was just absolutely kicking ass in every song I did over there, up until the power went out, of course. And didn't think anything of it. But yeah, You Should Be Dancing is, for me, is done 100% in a falsetto, and not just any falsetto, like it's done in an obscenely high falsetto, and with all the extra phlegm on my vocal cords, I quickly found out that was not happening. Yeah, I have no falsetto to speak of right now. I mean, I kind of did the second half that way, but I just couldn't. I couldn't get the pitch right. Like every time I tried to do a falsetto, it was just really out of control and out of tune, and it was pretty bad. It was, in fact, it was pretty much everything people hate about karaoke. I inadvertently became that guy, which like those that go to my karaoke shows and watch me sing on a regular basis, I've had a pretty enviable falsetto for a long time. Because I've got a fairly deep voice, but I learned long ago how to sing in a falsetto and how to control my pitch in a falsetto, and it's just something that I, as a vocalist, that I do well, and not tonight. Now with a bunch of extra snot on my vocal cords. So, whoops, bad song choice. Bad Dan. The second song that I did, that was the one where I was a little thrown by the levels and not really hearing the backing track, and it was probably lost on the younger demographic of that bar. And to be fair, that's a song that would have been lost on a lot of people my age in a bar, but it's a song that my mom had on a 45 when I was a little kid, and it was a 45 that she gave to me. It is a song that I absolutely love and know very, very well. And again, I heard it on the radio on the Wow Factor on the way there, and that is Green Tambourine by the Lemon Pipers. To be honest, I don't really know any other songs by the Lemon Pipers. I would like to hear other songs by them, but they're a one-hit wonder. If they have other good songs, I've just never been exposed to them. I want to believe they probably do. Most one-hit wonders that I am into do have other songs that I really like. But, whoa, crackhead, get out of the street, thank you. Yeah, never anything else from them. Anyway, I sang it. I did get some compliments from some younger women that approached me as I was on my way out of the restroom, telling me that they thought it was great, which was cool. I did get applause after it, but I felt like it wasn't really vibing with the crowd, and I also felt like I was kind of off singing it with my timing and stuff, just because I couldn't hear the backing track very well, and again, struggling with my voice a little bit tonight. Last song I did, though, Oh yeah, I was in my zone on the last song, and I'm getting ready to take another trip out to LA. So every time I go to Venice Beach, I'm very keenly aware that that's where the Doors happen. And while I'm not one of those people that's like overwhelmingly crazy about Jim Morrison or the Doors, in 1991 I did meet Ray Manzarek, and that was a pretty awesome experience. And I got to see the Ray Manzarek band. Absolutely awesome experience. Huge fan of the Doors. Huge fan of all the members of the Doors. Huge fan of the Doors with Ian Astbury. I absolutely hate the fact that the Warner Music Group stopped that from being a thing by claiming intellectual property rights to the name of the Doors. Oh, we own the name of the Doors. You guys aren't the Doors. It's some guy who thinks he's Jim Morrison, along with the 3 living members of the Doors. That's the fucking Doors. That is the closest to the Doors we're ever going to get. And some greedy bastards at record labels in suits shut it down. That makes me sad, because I think that could have been a thing. I think it could have become more than just a tribute band, which is what it was at the time that record label shut it down. I've got a performance video of them doing Break On Through, I think it is. I forget which late night show it is, but they did Break On Through, early 90s. Break On Through on a late night American TV show. I forget where I got that video from. I didn't get it off the internet. Like, somebody gave me that. And it's phenomenal. And that was the start of something big that went nowhere because the greedy people in the suit shut it down. And I genuinely think that had Ian Astbury and the Doors been able to continue, there was still a lot of creative juices flowing with Robbie Krieger and Ray Manzarek, and it looked to me like they were in a good place with Ian Astbury. I didn't think to ask Ray Manzarek about it when I met him, but it just from watching that video, it seems like they had some good creative juices flowing, and I think they probably, had they not been shut down by the record labels, I think they probably would have gone on to create some really epic new music that would have been a second chapter of the Doors. But it never happened. And of course now the remaining members of the Doors have passed. At least Ray has. And a lot of people want to say that the Lizard King was the driving force behind the Doors, but yeah, there are a lot of drunken poets. The 60s had no shortage of drunken poets. All of every era has had no shortage of drunken poets, and not to discredit the legacy of Jim Morrison, but because what he did is amazing, but there's never been a shortage of drunken poets. But what Ray Manzarek did as a keyboard player, I don't feel like it's ever been equaled. I can't think of, and if somebody can think of one, by all means point it out. I do think the keyboard player from Iron Butterfly kind of hits in that place, but at the same time, I think like he was kind of trying to sound like Ray Manzarek when he did it. Ray Manzarek had just an amazingly unique organ sound that just is haunting, and didn't end after the Doors. I mean, there was the Doors with Ian Astbury, but there's also the Ray Manzarek band. There was also a one-off thing of the Doors with Skrillex, which is on YouTube. Look up Doors and Skrillex. The song's called Breaking a Sweat. Love that. I love that. And you look at the video and you look at Ray, and he's old as dirt, and he's still kind of in his zone. He's still bringing that unique sound, and it's amazing. the Ray Manzarek band was amazing. And another really great YouTube video to see Ray Manzarek just doing his own thing and just being phenomenally awesome. And it's one of those moments where you realize, oh, that's the man that was the sound of the Doors. Is on Weird Al Yankovic's YouTube channel. There's a behind-the-scenes video of Weird Al and Ray Manzarek recording the instrumental for Weird Al's Doors style parody called Craigslist. And to be honest, I mean, he took it beyond style parody. He did that with Ray Manzarek, and it's phenomenal. It's, if you're not familiar with it, check it out. Just check it out. Anyway, so yeah, to say I'm a Doors fan is kind of understating things. And I, you know, as a little kid, I acquired my mom's old records, and there was no shortage of Doors records. So I mean, I was fed on that. And then, you know, being that I was born in 1970, the Doors were still played as a recent current band. So, you know, totally grew up on the Doors. Never at any point have I lost interest in the Doors. And so I sang Break On Through and absolutely rocked it. And that's one of those songs where I really don't need to see the lyrics. I really don't need the timing on the, I wonder why, I guess I'm pulling up to the light. Weird. I really don't need to, oh, because he's turning around to try and find a hooker. Okay. Anyway, I wish I had a rear-facing camera so y'all could see that on action. Anyway, yeah, that's something I mean, it helps having the lyrics up there, and I might have got lost if there were no lyrics at all, but I don't need the lyrics on the screen to do the timing. I just channel my inner God, this sinus infection is killing me. I just channel my inner Jim Morrison as if I was Ian Astbury and rock that shit. Anyway, such good times. So, yeah, and the crowd went absolutely nuts for that one. I finally felt like it's like, yeah, I came here and I'm a guy that's really into karaoke, and I'm just failing, and so I got one, and I got the kind of crowd response that I'm craving, because I'm an attention pig like that. Anyway, wow, I can't believe I've rolled 22 minutes of video. So as I mentioned before, the last video got cut off abruptly, and I was out of space, and I checked to see if it was that whole reboot issue, and I rebooted, and while that freed up some space, it really didn't free up much space. And then I went to check to see, you know, what it ate up all my space, because I had enough space to do all those videos. Oh, excuse me. All those videos at the airport, and before I went to the airport. And I'd uploaded them all and deleted them all, so where the hell did my space go? Damn, I need some water to wash that shit down. I don't have any. But hey, it's after... Oh, shit. It's after midnight, and I did not get my Sip and Save drink. Because Circle K doesn't have cups. I'm glad I got my short posted. I hope that gets some views. I mean, I'm a big fan of the Circle K Sip and Save, but it's pretty brutal that they're advertising that on the radio constantly here in the Phoenix market. I don't know about elsewhere, but Circle K is based in Phoenix, and in Phoenix, like, Circle K is on the way. There's a Circle K absolutely freaking everywhere, and they're advertising it heavily. And they're not mentioning in the advertisement that, hey, oh, by the way, we're all out of fountain drink cups, so humbly, when you go into a store, you can't get one because we're out of cups. Sorry for the inconvenience. Anyway, yeah, another day passed, didn't get my drink. I'm definitely having some second thoughts about renewing it when it expires this time. And 7-Eleven. I did mention earlier I had quite the experience as a result of going to 7-Eleven that involved a broken down vehicle in front of the 7-Eleven. And I do I swear to God, I'm going to tell that whole story. I really want to tell that. And I'm going to do that in the next video, I think. No promises here, but I'm going to try to do that in the next video. But I do want to wrap this one up. Since I turned onto Mill Avenue, actually I got off of it. I turned onto Mill Avenue when I pulled out of Monkey Pants, but I found myself in the right turn lane at University, so I turned right and then went down to College, and then turned left and went down to I believe it's 5th Street, and then I turned right onto Mill and got back on Mill. With the exception of the little bit, that little diversion there, I was driving the 60. And I really do want to make a nice video that shows the something well produced after I learned how to edit video, that shows footage of the 60 and how it goes through Phoenix, how it went through Phoenix when US 60 was the US highway route through Phoenix prior to the interstate freeway system. So that's what I'm driving since I've been back on Mill. I've been on it, and I drove it over the Mill Avenue Bridge. And over the segment where it's really hard to tell what's Mill and what's Van Buren, and I've gone down Van Buren, and now I'm in downtown Phoenix. I do want to make that video. So I'm going to give the rest of the story about what happened at 7-Eleven. It's a fairly epic, feel-good story. But before then, I want to wrap this video up because I'm at almost 27 minutes, and I've found that the longer the videos are, the more trouble I have getting them uploaded to YouTube with the uncertainty that is public Wi-Fi, and even on my own Wi-Fi. I mean, it's asking a lot to upload such a long video to YouTube. I did look at downsizing the video. I can't for the life of me figure out how to set the capture resolution for my camera on my iPhone, but I did find a setting. So anyway, I had all this, back to what I was saying, when, where did all my space go? It went to YouTube Cache. I realized that, and I got some screenshots of it, but I don't know how to integrate those in this video because I don't know how to do video editing. But YouTube cache had grown to about 12 gigs, which is absolutely ridiculous. My Obama phone only has 16 gigs. There's no room for anything to be caching 12 gigs. There's no reason any app should cache 12 gigs. That just makes no sense. I mean, maybe a video editing app while you're actively editing a video, but like once you're done, that shit should get deleted. You should be done with it. But apparently the YouTube app doesn't know when to say when. So last time this is not the first time I've had this problem. Last time I just completely uninstalled YouTube and reinstalled it. And since I still have other Google apps running in which I'm logged into, it automatically was like, hey, log in as. I'm like, yep. And I didn't need a password, which is good because I can't for the freaking life of me remember the password for this account. So that worked out nicely. And yeah, once I did it, like suddenly I had roughly a third of my phone free. So problem solved, but craziness. I don't understand why they can't fix that, sort that shit out. Anyway, I'm headed downtown. I'm not sure if I mentioned it in one of my vlogs or not, but I spent some time with a homeless man in this part of downtown a couple of nights ago, and helped him out with his phones, with his smartphones. Basically gave him a place to charge them up. Like anybody can get an Obama phone if they're destitute and have the right documents, but that doesn't give you a place to charge it. So I helped him out. I'm sure he was hoping I'd give him some food or some money, but I didn't have either of those things. In fact, I was hungry myself, but I was at least able to give him a place to plug in his phone and get some charge. And he had a pretty nice smartwatch that somebody had given to him, and I was able to learn some information about it. Anyway, at this point, I know what it's worth, so I'm maybe offer him some cash for it if he's still looking, if he's interested in getting rid of it. I'm hoping I find the guy. Kind of bummed I don't remember his name, but I'll know him when I see him. So on that note, wow, y'all stuck with me for 30 minutes. That's amazing. Thank you. Thanks for watching. I will be back because just really don't want to go home. So thanks for staying with me on this adventure.